That's the address listed on the court documents. These records show that in October 2021, complaints had been filed against Elizabeth and Gary Cers because 6 of their children were considered truant, meaning they were chronically absent from school. The complaint states the child's name, which we have blacked out. Then it states that Gary and Elizabeth have failed to cause said child to attend some school or class as required by law. The child has been absent from school without legitimate excuse for the entire 2021-2022 academic year to present an amount in excess of 72 hours for the school year, and as such is thereby a habitual truant. Now this truancy...
That's not a line from a dystopian novel. That's from a real juvenile court complaint, stamped and filed in Gallia County, Ohio. Now imagine a yellow school bus slowing to a stop on Honeysuckle Drive. The door folds open. No one gets on. The driver waits, then closes the door. Every morning for an entire academic year, that bus passed by a house where 6 children were officially enrolled, and 0 ever climbed aboard. The paper trail starts there, but the horror it was meant to prevent was already sealing another door shut. Before we go deeper into what the documents actually show, make sure you're subscribed to Endless Cryme. Because we don't just cover the story, we follow the evidence. This is what Ohio's Attorney General had to say when the door finally opened.
Not in good shape.
That right now, some of these children couldn't even speak. Yeah, so, I mean, we're talking, this is very, it was terrible. I mean, it looked like, oh.
6 of the children inside that home were the same ones listed on the truancy complaint. But by the time law enforcement found them, they were described as feral, unable to speak, unable to spell. The 18-year-old couldn't write his own name. And yet the state had once known exactly where they were supposed to be in a classroom. The documents we obtained from Gallia County Juvenile Court show the alarm was raised years earlier.
About 4 years ago. And there was likely a reason for that move. The puzzle pieces here, they're fitting together. They are painting the picture. It's becoming very clear. I've been telling you for the last week, the Children's Services had been looking into the Cers family. That look at them started in Gallia County back in 2021. The juvenile court in Gallia County went looking for the Cers after the older children.
In October 2021, the school district filed formal complaints against Elizabeth and Gary Cers because 6 of their children were habitually truant. Ohio law is clear.
The complaint is for 6 of the 16 Cers children. Of course, some weren't even born yet. The oldest at that time would have been 13. In the state of Ohio, it's illegal to not send your children to school. Parents have a duty and an obligation to ensure the child is in school. The statute states that parents whose children are determined to be habitually truant and do not get their kids to school can face fines or even child neglect charges.
But the court couldn't touch them because the state couldn't find them.
Eventually, the complaints were terminated in January of 2022. A document states the court finds that Elizabeth Cers is unable to be served and the whereabouts of Elizabeth Cers are unknown to the court. Therefore, it is hereby the order of the court that the above matter be terminated until the availability of Elizabeth Cers. The same document was filed for Gary Jr., the named father of the children. The court couldn't find Gary and Elizabeth.
Read that again. The court terminated the case, closed it, because the family's whereabouts were unknown. 6 children officially existed on a school roster. 0 attended a single day. And the state closed the case because it couldn't find them. The paper knew before the people did. 4 years later, a Vinton County sheriff's deputy walked into a house on Omar Street and described conditions that don't belong in any county, anywhere.
The conditions inside have been described as something you wouldn't even see in a third world country. Videos circulating online show the filth in the house. The children were kept in a 12 by 12 room, according to the sheriff.
As I was saying, most of our livestock was kept in better conditions than the children. It was extremely...
That's where those 6 truant children were found, along with 10 others. The gap between the paper and the reality is the gap that makes this case a systemic ticking clock. If the state couldn't locate 6 registered children with a legal case open, what else was hiding behind that door until an unrelated criminal investigation forced it open? The neighbors in Vinton County, population barely 2,000, couldn't understand how a family with 16 kids just disappeared in plain sight.
Just curious about this whole situation, because how can a whole family live like that and no one know it? I wanted to see like how close were neighbors. Usually in small towns, neighbors are friendly with each other, you know, so how would you not know what's going on?
And the local prosecutor's first instinct wasn't to ask why the system failed. It was to make sure everyone knew the family wasn't originally from there.
I think every county probably has some of that going on. It's just usually neighbors help take care of you though, you know?
Wait a minute.
That's the best thing about living in a small town. Everybody knows everybody, so how would you not know that's going on?
The paper knew before the people did. Even state lawmakers were staggered.
From Vinton County.
I want to stress that our focus right now is on the safety of the children. These kids are being evaluated medically, and we're trying to get them placed, and that is our primary concern right at this point. I also want to stress this is not conduct that is acceptable in Vinton County. These individuals were not from Vinton County.
But what was unfolding on the ground had been foretold in those truancy filings. Former Franklin County prosecutor Ron O'Brien reviewed the complaint and immediately spotted the fracture point.
State's capital.
On June 30th in Vinton County, we had an unprecedented situation where 16 children at one home at one time were added to the temporary custody of that county, more than doubling the number of children and needing care in that community. We are requesting $1 million in emergency resources to be made available specifically for the care of these children. I've been doing this in one capacity or another for 40 years. I've never seen anything like this. This is to have kids that would be off the radar, a child off the radar.
O'Brien had spent decades connecting the dots between an empty desk and a future courtroom.
The school district's going to court and saying, these kids haven't been to school all year long, and then they can't track the parents down or the kids down.
Yes, and at least that would be the proper step to take when the school district or children's services learn that there are children not attending school at all. Usually the truancy cases we've had over the years are children that are excessively truant, and there's a statutory definition on different levels of absences, but it's somewhat rare to have children not at all going to school, and that's what happened here. And when they learned about it, apparently they filed the complaint in the Gallia County court.
And he confirmed that simply claiming homeschooling without registering doesn't work under Ohio law.
These kids, in October of 2021, according to the court document, they hadn't been to school all year at all. So that's quite a long time. And in order to be truant, you would first have to be registered as a student in the school district, correct?
Yes, you'd have to register in the school district and be assigned to a specific school and then attend.
But even a veteran prosecutor was stunned by the scale.
True.
No, that's exactly right. And at least I started actually a truancy program, even though you would think a district attorney would not focus on truancy. But I was finding that the people who were 15, 16, and 17, we were binding over for trial as an adult, that their first contact was a truancy charge. Whether it was a robbery, a burglary, or a homicide, their first contact was
And then he zeroed in on the detail that makes this an open wound, not a closed case.
You have to go through a registration process and have it approved by the school district and others that you're going to homeschool the children, and that wasn't done either. Now, Mom had made claim that they were homeschooling him, but you can't just say under Ohio law, I'm homeschooling them. I didn't contact the school district, and I didn't register the necessary requirements. So it leads.
The search warrant that finally cracked open the Omar Street house wasn't about child abuse. It was an unrelated criminal investigation.
Well, I would have to say that I've seen it before, but not with 16 kids. And that's
really
so amazing to me in this entire case, that people in Gallia County, people in Vinton County, neighbors, people at the gas station, grocery store, and whatever, no one in a small village of only 200 was aware that there were 16 kids behind the closed doors of that home. And that just kind of boggles your mind. And on top of which, this issue of schooling, issue of the small facility where they were being kept, it just is amazing as the facts unfold.
So the question becomes, why couldn't a truancy case do what a search warrant did? Was it a lack of resources or a lack of will?
It's a mess. I mean, it's not even a mess. That's not even an appropriate term. It's like a mess on steroids times 50 from what we've seen online. I mean, what on earth is going on that you've got kids and even adults.
And O'Brien pointed out the multiple doorways that were missed: hospitals, benefits offices, and the simple fact of 18 children born to one couple over 18 years.
Yeah, and it's our understanding that the search warrant is separate from the public indecency charges, and it's the search warrant was not related to the abuse. We're still kind of digging around and poking around on that a little more because they won't tell us.
And still, the paper trail keeps widening. Locals saw the family using an EBT card at the Dollar General, but who was listed on that account? The prosecutor said only the grandparents were receiving benefits. We're still chasing the records.
And now the state legislature is sending $1 million down there to Child Protective Services. It's the Department of Youth and Children now. $1 million, it's good, it'll help. But some lawmakers were voicing concerns that the Children's Services was just not funded properly for a long time. Is more funding really the issue here if you're sending people out and they go to an address and they simply can't find the people?
Well, I would tell you this, that historically there are 88 counties in Ohio, as you know, and Vinton County is always at the bottom of the list on being the poorest county in Ohio. So at least the tax base based on that would be low. And secondly, I would think that their primary goals would be the criminal justice kind of issues, the sheriff's office and the courts. And I don't know anything more than that they're a poor county, and therefore they...
Now, a gag order signed by Judge Rogers has silenced the sheriff, the attorney general, and the prosecutor from making any further statements.
Well, at least I think it's a legitimate question to ask, and I got to think they were on some kind of support, whether it's food stamps or otherwise, and so you have to register for that at Jobs and Family Services. So at least somewhere along the line, and maybe, and I think it's true in some of the smaller counties, people are less nosy, if you want to call that, about the papers, and intentionally say what's, it's not my business. But here with 16 kids, and there were 2 others, as you know, that were born that died shortly after. They were conjoined twins.
The paper knew before the people did. And now the people in power want to make sure the paper stops talking. But the search warrant that started it all remains a public record. It's filed in Vinton County. So here's what we're asking you to do. Go to the Vinton County Clerk of Court's website, pull the case file for Gary Cers Jr., and look at the search warrant inventory. If it's not yet sealed, read it. Then tell us in the comments, what item were they searching for that had nothing to do with the children? Because someone sent deputies to that door for a reason, and that reason is still the one thing no one will discuss. If this investigation matters to you, hit like, share this video, and subscribe to Endless Cryme with notifications on, because this case is far from over.